We start National 2 this week in National 2 East with one of our feature clubs being Colchester on the National League Rugby preview show. And it is a big game for them this weekend, isn't it? As they host Worthing, but they come into round 11 with a spring in their step after claiming their first win of the season last time out. You may remember in round 9, it was late drama for them against Westcombe Park, which broke their hearts. But that was not going to be the case this time around for Mike Haywood's men. It's an 80th minute try from fly half Gabe Jones sealed a 28-23 victory for Colchester over 12th place Sevenoaks, and it has moved Colchester level on points with Oaks going into this weekend. So it felt like a really crucial win at a crucial time in the season for Colchester. At the other end of the table, the league leaders Tunbridge Judians displayed their quality yet again to earn a 10th straight victory and make it 50 points from a possible 50. They were 8-0 down to 9th placed Old Albanian early on, but any thoughts of TJ's record being under threat were quickly banished as they scored 4 unanswered tries either side of half-time. Oways did battle back, but Jordan Turner-Hall and Seb Sherwood's side saw out the contest. So a quick look at the standings then, where TJ's maintained their advantage at the top. And in fact, all of the top 6 sides picked up maximums in round 10. That, of course, includes second place Dorking, who made it 9 wins in a row. Armand Rue's side relentless at the minute as they secured a 61-34 win against Worthing Raiders away from home. And in terms of Worthing, they are 2 points behind their nearest rivals, which of course includes Colchester. And as we said at the top, Colchester are one of our featured clubs on the National League Rugby preview show this week. And it's been an interesting few weeks for Colchester, who were promoted to this level for the first time in their 100-year history for this season. They began their maiden term in National 2 East, though, with 8 straight defeats, and it led to the club parting company with head coach Craig Burrows and putting forwards coach Mike Haywood in interim charge of the first 15. Now, Mike began his playing career at Colchester, and those watching will probably best know Mike from his very successful playing career at Northampton Saints, where he spent 14 years in the Premiership. But since Mike has taken the reins at Colchester, they picked up 7 points for his first 2 games in charge, including last week's win away at Sevenoaks. And coming into this Saturday back at Raven Park, Colchester have another opportunity to take steps in the right direction when they host bottom of the table Worthing. So we caught up with Mike as well as Colchester chairman Karl O'Brien to discuss the club's start to the season, last week's win over Sevenoaks, and this huge clash on Saturday against Worthing. Before we kind of get into the big chat ahead of this weekend's massive game against Worthing for you guys, Karl, let's start with you if you don't mind. And I can imagine there's been smiles on faces since Saturday evening at Colchester after you guys claimed your first win at the weekend against Sevenoaks. I mean, we got a little bit of an inkling on social media of what it meant to the lads and the team to get over the line on Saturday. But just tell us about those feelings after the game.
Yeah, I think it's big for everyone. Obviously, big for Mike here, and great for the boys who have worked really, really hard. We were so close the week before. Westcombe Park didn't quite make it, as obviously you're well aware. But to get over the line, probably to get the monkey off the back, being honest, that's great. And credit to all the boys and Mike for pushing everybody really hard to do that.
Yeah, I think the guys have been brilliant. It's been a tough start to the season, and every single week the guys have been showing up, putting in the effort within training, and we haven't got the results that we wanted. But the last couple of weeks, after a few changes to some of their schedules and putting out plans for them to look at, i.e. around our game plan, and the guys have just stuck to it, done a fantastic job, and we're just looking forward now to playing the game against Worthing.
Yeah, and of course, people who watch the show, Carl, will know that obviously Colchester have gone through a bit of a change over the last few weeks with your parting company with former head coach Craig Burrows, and I know in the club statement on the website it referenced kind of the difficult start to the season that Colchester had. So does that explain why the club decided to make the change? And if you're able to tell us what are the ongoing plans in terms of the coaching structure, or is that still TBC, if you like?
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously Mike's come on board. He's already with us. He's got his roots in the club. He's come through the minis and the juniors here. Mike played with one of my sons through the age group, so I know Mike extremely well, which I think helps. He's got Colchester in his blood, and I think that DNA is really important as well from that point of view. And obviously, having played in the Premiership for 14 years, all the lads respect and understand what he's saying, and he makes that very clear when it comes across in training. I think that's really important.
For me personally, when I retired, I always wanted to come back to Colchester, so I always kept touch with Karl, saying once I'm done, I'm going to come back and we're going to come help out. And for me personally, the club helped me out quite a lot, and I wanted to make sure that I could give something back when I retired. So I've very much really enjoyed the challenge that's been put in front of me, and relishing the opportunity to dive in and do a bit more at the club.
Yeah, and Carl's not been trying to persuade you to pull the boots back on Mike, has he at all? Or
In the beginning, yes, but as of the longer that I've been away from it, the more my body started to say no.
you've probably seen the brutality of National League Rugby, and you thought, like, do you know what? Maybe not for me.
Do you know what? It's a very physical league. The likes of Tunbridge, they've got George Merrick playing for them. He's got 100 caps for Quins. Like, they're not. This league isn't a small league. It's got proper players in, and they all look like proper rugby players that you could put into a Premiership side and they wouldn't look out of place. So yeah, it is a really physical league.
Yeah, and if you know, obviously the experience you have, Mike, have you spoken to anyone in the game? I know it's only been sort of 2 games you've been in charge of Colchester, but have you spoken to any of the coaches you've worked with? Any tips or advice from them, or you've kind of tried to do it your own way a little bit and speak to those guys internally at Colchester?
Yeah, so I'll do stuff personally, and then I'll go ask questions once I've done it. I still stay in touch with the guys at Northampton. So a couple of times last season, I went down to go watch training sessions to see if anything new has happened and stuff. So and it's something that I'm going to try and do regularly this season, because as a coach now, a head coach, I want to keep developing. The game always changes. It's never one thing is always going to work. So for me personally, I'm always trying to look how I can develop and how I could get the best way to get the knowledge over to the players, and the best way to prime them for a game and things like that. So yeah, for me, I try to do it myself first, and then if I'm struggling, I'll ask for some help.
Yeah, that's encouraging, Carl, that Mike's speaking to the Premiership champions and getting advice. That can only be a thing.
Yeah, look, Mike is really open book. You know, he listens to people. You know, we've got some good players here. We're working and liaising with Cambridge at the moment. We've got a couple of loan players on board. I think the experience that a couple of them have brought to us have really helped. And I think, you know, look, I know Mikey a long while. You know, he's a winner. You know, personally, I don't like losing. You know, it'd be odd if I did. And, you know, but I think we've got the right mentality here. We've got the right people in place. We knew it was a big step up, and make no mistake, it has been a step up in all respects. Every time we go away to clubs or when they're here, we learn something new on and off the pitch all the time. And if we keep doing that, I think with the players we've got, and probably with some new introductions as well along the way, you know, I think we'll get there.
And after 2 weeks on the road, Carl, it'd be nice to get back to Raven Park on Saturday, won't it? You know, you kind of mentioned before we hit record that their pre-match lunches are always a really good occasion. I expect it will be exactly the same on Saturday with Worthing coming to town.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as I said to you, we've got circa 200 people for pre-match lunch. a great big shout out to all of our sponsors who support us fantastically and have done for many years, and particularly our main sponsors, SRC Group and Whitehall Resources, who over the years have been fantastic. And to be honest, without them and all the sponsors, we wouldn't be here now. It's not possible. Everything costs money, as we all know, and they've just been absolutely superb. So yeah, we have a big lunch before every game, and sponsors are involved, supporters are involved, and hopefully on top of the 200 we'll get another few hundred to come watch the game as well. Certainly any of our visiting teams have not been disappointed when they've come down here. We like to give good hospitality and try not to do it on the pitch if we can.
I'm sure that will be the case on Saturday, as we've mentioned during our chat, Mike. A crucial game coming up for you guys against Worthing. But how much belief and confidence will the lads have, do you think, going into training as we're speaking tonight on Tuesday and Thursday, given the result that you got last week against Sevenoaks? Because I don't know what it is, but when you beat a team in and around you in a table, it can add that little bit extra, can't it?
Yeah, I think at the moment there's loads of energy and buzz around the group, and getting that win against Sevenoaks has just sort of boosted that, I guess. And all it can take is just that one win, and you get one win that leads to two, and then two leads to three, and then you start building momentum. So for us, we know Worthing are going to be a challenge. They played Dorking at the weekend and they scored 30 odd points. So those bonus points that they're picking up could pay dividends at the end of the season. For us, we're just looking forward to the challenge. And as you said, we're back at home, and for me, it's the first one that I'm going to be in charge back at home. So that's exciting for me. And we love playing at Ravens Park. So I think the boys are really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that finally, Mike. How special will it be for you on Saturday? As we said already, it's your boyhood club. You started your career. It might be I know you've been as a forwards coach, you've experienced it before, but leading the team out effectively, it will be a special afternoon for you, won't it?
Yes, it's a real privilege. As I say, there's a lot of people here that helped me out to get through the system and get to where I did at Northampton. And for me personally, it's awesome to be able to come back here and give back the knowledge that I picked up along the road. So I'm super excited, and no better place to come and play.
And finally, just a question for you both, really. I mean, how much would a win mean for you going into December, and a home win at that? I mean, last year, Karl, obviously winning at home was a really good thing for you guys. So I guess you want to get that one off the mark going into the Christmas period.
It would be big, as Mike said. We've got some momentum going. Obviously, it's important to carry that through. So yeah, we're going to be pushing very hard, as we do in every game. But yeah, of course, it would be very important.
As I say, the boys love playing here. Last season, we didn't lose a home game. So for us this year, as Karl mentioned, it's been a big step up in terms of physicality, in terms of game plans and structures and things like that. So for us, we're just super excited about the challenge that we're facing. And I think the energy and buzz around the group at the moment is great. So hopefully that can continue this weekend.
So a big thanks to Karl and Mike for their time earlier this week. Understandably, Karl did say he didn't want to focus too much on the departure of former boss Craig Burrows as the club begin to build on the promotion they all achieved last year. And what an opportunity for them to continue building in the right direction against Worthing on Saturday. And it's expected to be a brilliant atmosphere at Raven Park, especially pre-game, with their pre-game lunch always a hit. And we are sure the 80 minutes of rugby will only add to the occasion in Essex on Saturday. But let's take a look at the rest of the fixtures now in National 2 East, where League leaders Tunbridge Julians will be going for 11 heaven when they visit 7th place Bury St Edmunds. Can TJs make it 11 straight wins going into December? Colchester versus Worthing we've mentioned, but just on Worthing, they actually won the second half 21-14 against Dorking last week, even with a growing injury list. Now, only Bury St Edmunds, outside of the top four, have picked up more bonus points than Worthing. So they will be up for the fight on Saturday. That is for sure. It should be a cracker at Dorking this weekend as the second place side host third place Guernsey Raiders. The Raiders clocked up another home win last time out as they defeated Oxford Harlequins 49-27 at Butts Lane. Fifth versus sixth sees Henley Hawks face Canterbury. The Hawks made it 5 wins in a row in round 10, but they did so in remarkable fashion. 3 tries in the final 4 minutes, 2 from winger Leyland Gordon, clinched a 36-28 victory at Havant, while for the second week running, Canterbury racked up the half century with a 59-35 win over Bury St Edmunds. So it should be a really entertaining watch at Dry Lees on Saturday afternoon. Old Albanian take on Barnes. Barnes winger Jack Birch scored 4 tries in last week's 34-12 win over Westcombe Park, and they will visit an Old Albanian side who'll be looking to put in a performance after the news last week that their honorary secretary Peter Lipscomb sadly passed away. And Peter was a real heart and soul of the club, and everyone's thoughts at National League Rugby continues to be with Peter's family, friends and everyone connected to Old Albanian. Elsewhere, Oxford Harlequins face Havant. Oxford Quins battling to a try bonus point away at Guernsey Raiders last weekend and will now be looking to extend their unbeaten home record to 4 matches. And 8th place Westcombe Park host Sevenoaks. We know Westcombe Park make Goddington Dean a really tough place to visit, but Sevenoaks will be eager to bounce back after defeat to Colchester in round 10.